Hi guys, so I'm back quicker than I expected. I am on a bit of a roll right now and I'm just going with it. So while the videos are coming and the ideas are coming, I'm going to make hay while the sun shines, so to speak. So while I made that announcement last week that I was restarting my accessories design stuff and other design things, it's going to take some time. And in the meantime, I'm going to show you all the other parts of me and all the other things that kind of make me me and will keep things interesting and keep things in perspective about why I do some of the things I do and go about my creative process the way that I do and how I became this person. So today we're going to talk about another one of my passions in this life, and it was a late found passion, and that is of languages. And really it's something that I probably should have been more cognizant of earlier on, but we arrive at our things when we do. Things don't happen before their time. The reason why I'm going to talk about this in this way, because I'm talking about language and that kind of thing from the perspective of a third culture kid. And if you don't know what a third culture kid is, like, the way that I apply it to myself is that I was born into one culture, I lived in another, and I moved to another, and there are all these parts of me that kind of forms my identity. Having lived in the UK for 21 of my 27 years, I have found it to be somewhat of a conflict, and somewhat in some kind of way I've always been searching where I fit in British society. It has been made so clear to me that in the grand sense of things I'm not British. The way that I speak still, even though I speak noticeably more British, the way that I approach life in general, the food that I choose to eat, the way in which I present myself. As one person said to me in recent months, I am an enigma in my wider environment. Even though the place that I lived before England, Montserrat, is still a British territory, and I've always had a British passport, except for my Dominica passport that I had when I was a baby coming out of Dominica, still my Britishness is to be questioned, apparently. So there are a few other things, however, that makes people question whether I actually belong here than, of course, my accent and the fact that I code switch. And if you don't know what code switching is, I'm just going to read it off my laptop. And this is a definition from Wikipedia. In linguistics, code switching or language altering occurs when a speaker alternates between two or more languages or language varieties in the context of a single conversation. Multilinguals, speakers of more than one language, sometimes use elements of multiple languages when conversing with each other. That's basically something that I do, code switch a lot. And when I do code switch, like, I get very benign commentary from people that, you know, they're like, oh, your accent changed, I noticed this. Or even I will get some dead-ass ignorant commentary like, what the hell happened to your voice? Like, what the hell was that? And I'm just like, how am I even supposed to respond to that? Like, usually I ignore it, or I at least try to explain, but I'm fresh out of explanations at this point, because it's not like here in the UK we aren't a multiracial, multicultural society. But, you know, recent political attitudes have got a lot of people really showing themselves, so this is just one of those things that I have to contend with. In this video, I'm going to do a demonstration of sorts, and it will be kind of difficult for me actually, because most of my code switching is done situationally when I'm not speaking in like received British pronunciation, but I will try. So let's go. We're going to start with British English, most poignantly received pronunciation, because that's how I'm talking right now. And there's a few reasons why I do not sound as Midlands as people would expect, being that I've lived in the Midlands and in Leicester for most of my life, and that's because I have a history of like speech difficulties, and it actually helps me form the words a lot better than if I spoke in the Leicester kind of twang. It's kind of hard to believe, obviously, because I speak quite well, but you know, West Indian parents, black parents in general, do not play with these kind of things. So my mum had me doing a lot of things like reading out loud to her when she was combing my hair. She limited things like television and opted for, like, you know, audio recording and listening to radio and music and stories on like tapes and CDs. And a lot of those things helped me a lot. still there are a few things that I can't pronounce R's properly, like the letter R. If I'm trying to make it as intentional as possible because it's really difficult. I jumble word order, so sometimes the sentences do not make sense at all, and there is the and ahhing and some stuttering in some situations, and I think it's something cognitive that happens. I know exactly what I want to say, that it's almost like a bottleneck or like a traffic jam of words, and it doesn't come out of my mouth as fluidly as I would like. This is a bit on a tangent, but that's kind of why I speak how I do, and this is something that I will talk about at another point. But moving on, so Leicester accent, or just general Midlands accent, I don't really do anymore. I don't think I can code switch into Leicester accent like that. It was a lot stronger when I was younger, because I wanted to like fit in with my more British peers, because I didn't want to stick out. But it still made me stick out, because then when I talked like that to like my Caribbean and West Indian family and friends, they take the piss. So either way, I couldn't win. There are some characteristically Leicester things that I know about, like with certain words, that the way that they pronounce. So the word really is pronounced really. Like the name Katie is pronounced K-E. And I don't really say things like this, but I know that people do say things this way. So these are kind of like some very, very small characteristics of the Leicester accent. And though I do speak in received pronunciation, the people with the right ears will pick up on some of the things that I can't disguise with received pronunciation. So it's mostly with words with the sound I in them. So life, child, and five, and things like that I will more pronounce when I'm not thinking about it as life, child. So yeah, that's kind of my contribution to that part. I don't really feel like I'm fully equipped to properly talk about that part, but that's kind of my experience of it. But this I can talk about. So I'm going to talk about Montserrat and Patwa and Kwéyòl and Dominican Kwéyòl in the same breath, because they are mutually my paternal and maternal tongues. So when we talk Montserrat dialect, we sound like this, and after we move, mommy make we continue to speak in the house and to her in this way. So that's how I kept both my accent and ability to speak in the dialect like that. Mommy, even though she's Dominican, she moved to Montserrat when she like preteen, so 11, 12, after Hurricane David hit Dominica. And even when she lived in Dominica, she never really speak Kwéyòl. However, when she go and stop with she grandmother in the countryside, she grandmother would talk na Kwéyòl to her, but she would respond in English. And now we know that this year are one perfectly normal thing where children might hear something in the environment but then choose to speak now one other language. So if this year makes sense, mommy have cognitive fluency but not verbal fluency. Me not even actually know if that's one actual thing, but somebody will have to tell me. In saying that, me not really fluent na Kwéyòl, we just code switch with Montserrat Patwa, and then it get pepper with Dominica Kwéyòl. But in a recent times, we start to study it actually, and one resurgence day with younger Dominicans, whether it be from first generation or second generation we live in the UK, with them want to learn the language, but their parents could have never teach them because, you know, before they want one stigma exists, we then think that's not the proper way to speak. So then their parents were discouraged from speaking it. Anyway, since we start to study, we start to ask mommy questions, and even though she might not remember straight away, she will come back to me and say, "Oh, that's how you say that word there, na Kwéyòl." And we're so happy because it really make me see how fortunate I am to be in such a position where I have this mix of culture and language. So anyway, some examples of both Kwéyòl and Montserrat Patwa. So these are usually used in informal situations or with, you know, age mates. You never really use a lot of these things with older people. So, for example, in Montserrat English. So say mommy call me pan the phone at the morning or something. She'd ask me, Wago. And in Kwéyòl you say Sakafet. Like what's happening basically. When we say that I would just code switch between Montserrat, Patwa and Dominican Kwéyòl. So say the street noisy or something and now we hear somebody a fight outside. We will say, Mommy, you hear the things them we are going outside? Some kind of people made gumi outside last night. Something like that. Like instead of using the word fight, use gumi, which I think derives from a French word. But my French is not that strong. So please don't ask me. Don't ask me about that. No, say you're just fed up and you can't bother with something no more. I would say at home here, I would say Zafe, Adem business. My mom would say, one of my favourite sayings that she uses to say that it's not her business basically. She'd say, well, Shadi, I know my shoes or my socks, so me no bother with them, Zafe, like that. So say like you really don't like somebody. You really don't like somebody, you say, me no love that person at all. My spirit not take them. And when you see when one West Indian person say, their spirit not take you, just know that you finish. Say, my mother met some kind of friend of mine, right? And she never rang. Really never rang. The West Indian spirit never tell lie. Say she met them and them left. I will part ways and I will go in our separate direction. Mommy will say to me afterwards, Shadi, me not love that person. There's something that my spirit tell me is something not right with that person there. My spirit not take them. Just know that you're finished. You're actually done. Finally, one of my favorite words in the West Indian vernacular in this sentence. Okay, so say you meet somebody or somebody acts some kind of way, even if you've known them for time, and they do something and it just seems like they haven't been brought up well or they don't have no manners, they're crass. You say, "I no have no brought up, see." In Kwéyòl you say, "Imal kase," like they were badly brought up. And brought up, see, listen, brought up, see, it's not even an actual word, but it just hits different if you just says like they don't have manners or they're just not raised well. Like this is why I love these two languages. Like they are languages. Let's not even debate. They are languages. They're so colourful. They have such history that has been so neglected for so long, and I'm so glad that like more people are becoming more accepting of it, and I hope to see them grow and get proper resources so like people can learn more about what makes the West Indian languages what they are. So 마지막으로 한국말 말할게요. 사실 아마도 5년 동안 한국말 공부하기 시작했어요. 또 너무 많이 하지 않아요. 왜냐면 조금 힘들어서 친구하고 선생님하고 같이 말하기 더 쉬워요. 근데 한국말 쓰기로 더 좋아서 사람들이 저한테 메시지하고 말하기 했으면 해주세요. 네. So that's it really for like this video. This has been such a mixed bag, but I hope you like this content. Please tell me if you do. I would really like some feedback. So yeah, see you in the next video. Bye.